Moshe El Kol Yisrael. These are the words that Moshe had spoken of Bnei Yisrael. Okay? He's given Klal Yisrael Musar before he passes on. Now, how many days is it at this moment before he passes away? It's 36 days before he's going to pass away. Okay? Because this is Rosh Chodesh Shvat. And when does he pass away? He passes away at Zayin Adar. So 36 days before he's going to be nifter, he's giving them Musar. The Rachaim HaKodesh points out this is the first time he spoke in all the times that he was the leader, that he spoke to them so strongly. So he says, even though we find, he said, Shimon HaMorim, before he struck the rocks, he really spoke strongly. So he cites a Zohar that when he said Shimon HaMorim, he was only speaking to one segment, to the people who acted disrespectfully. But here it says, Al Kol Yisrael. Ashediba Moshe El Kol Yisrael. This rebuke is to all Jews. It's not to one segment of Klal Yisrael. So the last 36 days of his life, he's giving Musar to all Klal Yisrael. And where is he giving the Musar? Beivar Yardin. Right. This is before they're going to go into Eretz Yisrael. Beivar Yardin. Bamidbar, Barova, Molsuf, Bein Poran, Bein Tofa, Lov, L'Chatzeres Dizov. What is this referring to? So Rashi cites Chazal on this. Ela Dvorim, the Fishein Divri Tochochos. Since these are words of tochocho, of rebuke, admonishment, umona kan kolamkom shechisu l'fnei amokim him. And over here he's going to enumerate all the locations which Klal Yisrael angered Hashem. Fichoch sosam sadvorim. Therefore, he mentions them only in a concealed way. Veiskirum beremes, and he mentions them only in an illusionary way. When they kvodin shel Yisrael, kvod shel Yisrael, either because he doesn't want it to be public knowledge. So if you read this, it's not obvious. That's one way I understood it. Mechoda Shel Yisrael means sometimes when you rebuke a person, rather than saying it explicitly, you say it in a way where he understands what you're saying. Because if you're too direct, it's too overwhelming for the person. Exactly. So over here, the Chum asks, he does mention things explicitly. Avon Amraglim, Kirichsiv, Vatikru Neilai Kulchem, Gam Shadvam Shechis Lefonov, Monakam Parshazu, Vishlom Lekach Nokat, Rash Kanam Monakam Kolamakoimis, or Slom the Kamora Kolmakomish Beremes. But the sins, the locations where they sin. Vishu Rosha Sefer in Lahaskil Bechet Yisrael Shul Genusan, since it's at the very beginning of Chumash Devarim to mention things explicitly. Fichos sosam akos kos miremes they kol shel Yisrael chaygam dechos Rashi lemalo etzel v'yasum v'yisos haPesach she'ena kos maschil me. Later we could speak about it, but the first opening statement of the Chumash Devarim, not to speak about openly about their failings. El Kol Yisrael, right? You say have Rashi, Howard. Good. Ilo chicho hochich miktzosam. If he would have rebuked just one segment, some of them. You heard what Ben Abram had said, and you didn't respond. If we would have been there, we would have responded. Therefore he gathered all of them. You're all here. Anybody who has what to respond, let him respond if it's not a valid criticism. I hear the point. The Bnei Yisrael usually mentions the men and the men. The Kol Yisrael means every Jew. It's more of an emphasis. There's no one left out here. No. If it's Kol Bnei Yisrael, you'd say maybe it's all the men. Kol means all. To what degree all? Whoever's called Yisrael is included in this. give you an example. You find by Korach, says, Chochmas Noshim Botza Beso. Who's that? That's Ishto. That's the wife of Om Pelis. Om Pelis originally was part of the mutiny against Moshe Rabbeinu, and she saved the day for him. He would have been destroyed with others Korach, because she said to him, "It doesn't make any sense." He says, "And if Korach wins, where are you going to be? You'll still be the same nothing. Whoever the leader is, you're nothing. So what are you getting involved in?" So he said to his wife, "What am I supposed to do? I'm already so deeply involved." He says, "Drink some wine, go to sleep. I'll take care of the rest." So when they came to get him, when they were going to mutiny against Moshe, she went and she took off her sheitel, her hair covering, and the moment they saw it, they took a detour. They wouldn't go near the house. So that's how she saved him. But Korach's wife, she instigated him, and she really pushed him to go against Moshe. Why? She saw if Moshe is the leader, who are you? You're a nothing. How do you keep quiet? How do you allow them to do this to you? That was his wife. So she stoked the coals. So the same thing. If I would have been there, I would have said something. Al Kol Yisrael, the women were there also. Because the women were there. How do you let Moshe speak to you that way? You have all kinds of women out there, right? So Moshe says, you're all here. Anybody has what to say, say something. You know, that means my point is a valid point. You know, the Chofetz Chaim writes in John Moses Lashon Hara, and he purchased merchandise. And he says, today you see it less. But years ago, especially if you grew up in New York and Lower East Side, you know, everybody had a different price. When you buy something, you know, you negotiate. There wasn't a fixed price. The person who comes says, so what did you pay for it? That's the first question the person will say. And he tell you, if you paid that, you overpaid. You should go back and demand your money back. It's not the quantity they said it was. There was always something. Sometimes he would encourage the person. He says, you know something, I'm giving back the money. He says, you know something, take the merchandise, throw it in his face. Because he says, if that would have been me, that's what I would have done. I'm just telling you the words of the Chofetz Chaim. So the Chofetz Chaim goes and enumerates there. He says, and if you can't do it, you know, send someone else to do it. He goes to enumerates all these surim, that this person who's instigating, encouraging to do all this, Zayla, Lashon Hara, everything under the sun. He says, the paper is not long enough to list. This person is doing by instigating this. It's El Kol Yisrael. You know, I would have done it. Who said you would have done it? It's easy to tell the next one what to do. You know, to what's his name? To incite him. Bamidbar. What's Bamidbar? Lo Bamidbar. What do you mean? They're Bamidbar. They're in the desert. El Barvis Moav. Right? They're in the plains of Moab. They're on the Transjordan side. Umal Bamidbar. El Bishvil Mashiach Bamidbar. What's the Musar? All the incidences in the desert where they actually enraged Hashem. Shoma Mi'itei Musein Bamidbar. Barovo. What's Barovo? Bishvil HaRovo. Shechoto Balpor Rishitim. Barvis. Harov is alluding to Balpor. Yeah. Mulsuf. What's Mulsuf? Mulsuf. Amasha Hemru B'Yamsuf. Bevorm L'Yamsuf. Shomer Hamiblein Korban Yitzrayim. B'chein B'Nosam Tochayam. Shnem B'Yamru Al Yamsuf. Al Yom B'Yamsuf. I've never had an understanding. I mean, what is the sequential order of this? It's totally out of sync. We start with all the times they were Machsim in Midbar. Then we go to Balpor. Then we're going back to Kriyas Yamsuf, right before the sea split. Right? And then we go to the last, what's it called? The 40th year in the desert, where they claimed about Lechem HaKlokel, this wafer type food. Bein Purim, Bein Tofel, Bein Tofel V'Loven, Omer Rabbi Yochanan, Chazano Kol HaMikro, V'Lomatzinu Mok Sheshmo Tofel V'Loven. Says we reviewed all the psukim. There's no such location Elochichon al dvarim shetovlu al amon shu lovon. They complained about the mon. They took it lightly. She'omru v'nasher kotze blech. I don't know what the order is. Al mashe also b'midbar poron v'alidei meraglim. They said al mashe odu b'midbar poron v'alidei meraglim. So one and back. You know, the mon is the 40th year. Meraglim is the 2nd year. And what exactly is going on over here? No, definitely not. I don't know. It seemingly not.
Could it be that the sins of the first and the sins of the second generation, the one on the mind, that they also forgot about Kriyas Yamsuf? That's the second generation. That they have no relevance to it anymore. So that would be like an oyster, that they have no appreciation. So each one, it's talking about the first and the second generation, their shortcomings, maybe.
That's what you're saying really is a question. I mean, if we're speaking about what happened in Yam Suf, this is the whole different generation. He's rebuking it for what happened in Yam Suf. They weren't in Yam Suf, these people. This is the new generation. Right? All the people there died, so what are you talking to them? You know, your father was that. What do I have to do with my father?
They don't have an appreciation of how they were saved at the triumph.
No, it's a rebuke. It's not the saving. It's going on the rebuke. The failing.
That the second generation doesn't esteem the idea of they were saved at Yam Suf.
But that's not what he's telling them.
I understand. You're asking what the question. So it could be that the question is on the second generation, that they don't appreciate. They didn't appreciate the miracle of the man. They didn't appreciate the miracle of Yam Suf, and so they're.
He's rebuking them. He says, when your parents were at the Yam Suf, they said, are lack of graves. What does that do with them? What does that do appreciation? Factually, the sea split. So what are you rebuking them? I don't understand.
It's the appreciation of what I did for your parents is what Moshe is saying, what Hashem did for your parents, that you should have an appreciation for that. It's Zohar. Remember what Hashem did for your parents. There should still be an appreciation. You wouldn't be here otherwise.
What channel are we? Channel 13 or channel 96? We're on different channels here. I'm saying one thing, you're saying something else.
Okay, sorry.
Think about it. Yeah, but again, it keeps going back to all of it. Meraglim was very serious. It's not the first thing he mentioned. Yes, I'm saying. I still have never figured out, the order of the rebuke here. Okay, let's see tomorrow. I think work on it this year.